Welcome back to the podcast, A Life of a Woman. I'm Callie, your guide for all things holistic health, women's wellness, and living in sync with your body and the world around you. So, today we are talking about cycle syncing through the festive season because let's be honest, the holidays can feel chaotic with extra parties, so much indulgent food, late nights, and all the stress of gifts, family, and just wrapping up the end of the year. But what if you could flow through this season with energy, ease, and balance? So I absolutely love the festive season. It's my favorite time of year. I'm sitting here recording this in my ugly Christmas jumper while I can because we're preparing for a hot 35 degrees Christmas day tomorrow. And our family, we have about 14 days in a row of socializing with all the end of year celebrations, all the families, and we have so many birthdays as well at this time. So I really do understand how busy this time of year is. But our menstrual cycles offer us the ultimate roadmap. So, by understanding the four phases, so the menstrual, the follicular, the ovulatory, and the luteal phases of our body, you can honor your body and show up fully for all the celebrations without running yourself into burnout. So, I'm going to share some tips on how to nourish your hormones, support your energy, and make choices that leave you feeling good, not drained, no matter what phase you are in. So, whether you're in your cozy menstrual phase or you're buzzing with energy in your ovulatory phase, which is a very fortunate phase to be in at this time of year, I have you covered though. Whatever phase, I've got you covered. I will be sharing some great tips on using your menstrual phase to your advantage, as well as sharing some ideas for shared foods that you can take to parties so that you know you are eating in alignment with what your body needs. Before we get into it, if you haven't listened to episode 2 about cycle syncing, do that. That goes into explaining kind of what cycle syncing is, why it's important, how we do it, and explains the four phases. But in summary, cycle syncing, if you've heard that term, that is about aligning your lifestyle and activities to your menstrual cycle so that you're recognizing that your body has different energy levels and different needs throughout the month, and you are aligning your life to that. So there's no more pushing yourself to do things that your body doesn't have energy for. So things like exercise feels easier and is more effective. So yeah, it's a really great thing to do. You're really nourishing yourself and listening to what you need and just understanding and giving yourself that grace and permission that you don't have the same energy 24/7, but there are ways that we can work with that so that you can still make the most of the energy that you have. All right, so let's get into today's episode. I'm so excited for this. I love socializing, parties, festivities, love it. So, we are going to start with the follicular phase. So, this is your first phase of your menstrual cycle. This is your inner springtime. So, this phase kicks off after your period, and you'll notice that your energy will start to rise. It's like you're coming out of hibernation from your wintry menstrual phase. So, what's happening in your body during this time is that your estrogen starts to rise and you feel more upbeat, social, and creative. And your brain loves problem solving during this time, which is perfect for festive planning. There's so much to think about and juggle at this time of year. So, if you are in your follicular phase, what is great to focus on during this time is getting organized. So use this space to plan your holiday schedule, shop for gifts, prep meals. Your brain is sharp and your motivation is higher in this phase. Use this phase for energizing movement. So add in some cardio or fun festive workout classes to boost your mood and energy. Foods, focus on light, fresh foods for your follicular phase. So your digestive system is primed for lighter meals. So focus on salads, smoothies, roast veg, and lean proteins. And enjoy the seasonal citrus fruits for an extra vitamin C boost. I love the Christmas fruits that we have in Australia. And then another thing to focus on is trying something new because you really have that creative energy in this space. So embrace that. Try a new recipe, decorate your home, maybe DIY some gifts. So they are some simple things that you can do during this follicular phase to enhance your festive season. But I also wanted to share some food ideas or some dishes that you could prepare. So for the follicular phase, some ideas could be a festive citrus and quinoa salad. So something like a fresh, zesty dish, perfect for this phase, for this light food phase. So combine some fluffy quinoa with maybe some spinach, some sliced oranges or citrus or summer fruits, some pomegranate seeds, avocado, toasted almonds. And then drizzle on some maybe just a tahini dressing. So something like that is really light, nutrient dense, and looks beautiful on a party table. Another food idea is roast veg and hummus platter. So bring colorful roast veg, so things like carrots, sweet potatoes, zucchini, and pair that with some hummus, store-bought or homemade. But yeah, it was really satisfying without being too heavy, and you can have that as a side dish or as a nibble plate. Yum, yum, yum. So, yeah, follicular phase, take advantage of your rising energy, but don't overcommit just yet. You are coming out of hibernation. So, just pace yourself for what's ahead. So, really, in this festivity phase, it's, like a 2 or 3 week phase, depending on how much you have going on. So, the follicular phase lasts for about 7 to 10 days. So, you you'll likely be in 2 phases of your cycle over this festive period. If, considering a 2 week festive period, you will be in 2 phases of your cycle because only the luteal phase goes for that long. It can go for up to 14 days. Every other phase is much shorter. So you'll be in, 2 different phases over this 2 week festive period. So make sure you have a listen and take notes to all 4 of the phases or to at least the 2 phases that you know that you're going to be in. Probably should have said that at the start. But yeah, that's that's like how this kind of season will work is that depending on how long you party for, is that yeah, you're going to have 2 phases, 2 cycle phases during this time. So let's get into the ovulatory phase. This is your shortest phase. So this can last for like 3 to 4 days, maybe 5 days. Yeah, your shortest phase, but this is your inner summer. This is when you're feeling your absolute best, energetic, confident, and ready to party. So, this is the perfect time for festive gatherings. So, if you can choose dates and catch ups with people, try and plan it for this ovulatory phase if you're in this phase during this coming 2 weeks. So, what's happening in your body during your ovulatory phase is that your estrogen is peaking. And you've got your testosterone, which gives you an extra boost of energy, charisma, and confidence. So, yeah, you're naturally way more outgoing and sociable in this phase. So, embrace it for this time of year. So, what to focus on in your ovulatory phase for this season? So I recommend saying yes to events. So plan your biggest social gatherings or parties during this phase. You will have the energy to connect and shine. Doing some high energy workouts, go for strength training, dance classes, anything that gets your heart rate up, because that is going to give you even more energy. Using energy gives you energy. And also, helps to balance the sitting around and eating. So let's get that body moving. Balanced indulgence. So enjoy the festive treats guilt free, but balance them with protein and fiber rich foods to keep your hormones happy. All right. So think festive platters with nuts, hummus, veggies, dark chocolate. Yeah, and this phase as well, as I've said, connect and celebrate. So your communication skills are on fire. So use this phase to deepen connection with your loved ones, share laughter, gratitude, and joy. Some dishes that you could prepare for parties during your ovulatory phase. So, stuffed mini bell peppers. So, bright, colourful bell peppers, as they're called. In Australia, we call them capsicums. Stuff them with a mixture of quinoa, lentils, maybe some chopped herbs, some feta cheese if you eat dairy. Yeah, they're protein packed and look festive and they're easy to serve up, and you're not going to heat up your whole house making them. Very important for Australian weather, Southern Hemisphere weather. What else can we do? We can do some chickpea patties with some like dip. So could be yogurt dip, or if you wanted, you could substitute the chickpea patties for salmon. So something that's rich in protein and omega-3s because they will support hormone balance while also being a crowd pleaser. So yeah, pair like a chickpea patties or salmon dip with a chickpea patties or salmon with a dip. So it could be a yogurt dip, but put some lemon and some fresh herbs in there. And yeah, that would be beautiful. Again, a nice cooling dish that isn't too hot for this summer weather. And another crowd pleaser that you could take to parties is something as simple as chocolate dipped strawberries. So, a simple yet indulgent treat that satisfies your sweet tooth while providing the antioxidants from the strawberries. Yum, yum, yum. So, this phase, your ovulatory phase, is your superpower for thriving during the holidays. Just don't forget to refill your cup too. That's the one thing you have to be mindful of during your ovulatory phase is that you're not giving too much to everyone else and then find that you're burnt out later. So just just make sure you're monitoring your own energy and needs and do a little bit of grounding if you need to help you, yeah, get through and continue thriving. So after the ovulatory phase is the luteal phase. So this phase is 10 to 14 days. So you could be in the luteal phase the whole time during this 2 week festive period. This phase is your inner autumn. So this is when you start to turn inwards as progesterone rises, and you might notice your energy is dipping, especially towards the end, towards the end of that 2 weeks as you're heading towards your period. So it is a time to start slowing down before the burnout hits. So what's happening in your body is that your progesterone is rising, and that promotes calmness and focus. But it can also bring on the PMS symptoms, especially if you're stressed and eating things that aren't agreeing with you. But yes, stress is actually so important. It can be such an important trigger for our hormones. Yeah, so those PMS symptoms, you might be feeling a bit more irritable or less social, and that is totally normal. So it's being aware of that and knowing how to balance that out for yourself and fill your cup is what is important. So, my suggestions of things to focus on during this festive time, if you're in your luteal phase, is simplifying your commitments. So prioritize only what feels essential and fulfilling. So feel free to say no to last minute events or extra stress. You need to set your own boundaries and do what you need. Comfort foods during this time as well. So your body is craving beautiful grounding meals. So think things like hearty casseroles, sweet potatoes, dark chocolate, magnesium rich foods. All of these things will help to reduce PMS symptoms and potential cravings and really just make you feel nourished. Doing some gentle exercise. So instead of the intense workouts from your ovulatory phase, swap them for things like Pilates, long walks, yoga, things that will also help to manage stress that this festive season might bring on. And yeah, just remember to just at least move your body in a way that feels good to help balance out all the extra sitting from socializing and parties and the extra food that you might be enjoying during this time. Also, focus on restorative routines. So, wind down a little earlier, prioritize sleep, add some calming rituals to your day where possible. Things like even just a hot tea or journaling or some reading, even if it's just 10 minutes that you're giving yourself. But just, shut yourself away, give yourself some alone time, and just do a couple of those little things that make you feel connected to yourself. Some shared dish ideas, things that you can take to some parties are yum, sweet potato and black bean casserole. Mm-mm-mm. It's a warming, nutrient dense dish that balances complex carbs, protein, and fiber. And you could add spices like cumin and paprika. And you could always top it off with some avocado or melted cheese. Yummy. Another one is baked butternut squash. So baked butternut, pumpkin with some kale gratin. So a comforting side dish with roasted pumpkin, kale, and a creamy cashew sauce. Indulgent yet packed with nutrients for hormone support. Yum, yum, yum. So yeah, in this phase, think those warming, hearty foods. And one of my favorites that I make all the time is dark chocolate almond clusters. Oh my God, you can't go wrong. Dark chocolate helps to reduce PMS symptoms and provides magnesium, which is great for those PMS symptoms, but also sleep and muscles as well. So mix some melted dark chocolate with some almonds and some seeds as well. Throw in there some like pumpkin seeds. You could sprinkle with a little bit of sea salt, but yeah, great treat for the festive season, but also very hormone supportive. Think of this luteal phase as a chance to wrap up the season and almost your cycle with some self compassion, celebrate what you've done, and give yourself space to rest before the new year. It's a beautiful way to end the year. And then finally, your menstrual phase. So this can last 3 to 7 days. So you might experience this phase over this festive season, as well as either your luteal phase or your follicular phase. But this menstrual phase is known as your inner winter. So you might find it a little bit trickier to balance this phase for yourself with the demands of the festive season. But listen up, I'm going to help you. So, yeah, this menstrual phase, this is when your body needs rest and recovery. But let's face it, during this festive season, it can feel impossible. So, between the Christmas prep, the events, the family gatherings, and then if you've got birthdays as well, like us, it can be easy to push yourself too hard. But you need to try and not. So, what's happening in your body during this phase is your hormones, so your estrogen and progesterone, are at their lowest, and therefore your energy is like at its lowest. You might feel more tired, introverted, or reflective, which can be a beautiful space to be in if it's honored, if you give yourself that time and space to allow for those feelings and that those needs that you have. So, what to focus on during the menstrual phase during this crazy festive season? Number one, and this is probably the hardest one, but say no when you need to. All right, give yourself permission to opt out of events that drain you. Prioritize rest. Think cozy movie nights or a warm bath or an early night in. I know it can be so hard to say no and you feel so much pressure to attend things and say yes and go to that extra party, but if you can opt out of something or just leave a bit earlier. Give yourself some more one-on-one time with yourself during this phase. Gentle movement during this phase as well. So don't skip the movement. Energy through exercise, like if you use, it might seem counterintuitive. If you use energy to exercise, you actually gain more energy. And it seems counterintuitive, but just gentle movement. Don't skip the movement. So just go for the more restorative yoga, stretching, or walking in nature. Just really gentle movement. It lets your body recover. Movement is also really great for reducing PMS symptoms, things like cramps and headaches. But yeah, just go for gentle stuff and it will just help to, keep that metabolism moving and help your body to process all those extra foods that you might be eating. Food wise, for your menstrual phase, go for the warm, nutrient dense foods like soups, stews, roasted veg, iron rich options. So, if you are indulging in some treats, pair them with healthy protein or fats to keep your blood sugar balanced. And finally, as well, that mindful reflection. So use this phase to set intentions for the season. What do you really want to experience? What traditions or events matter most to you during this time? And really just prioritize what is important to you. I mean, even if you are driving between parties, if you are passenger while someone is driving you to a party, just, say them, I'm just going to take 10 minutes to zone out or listen to a podcast or do a bit of journaling or reading or just, some deep breathing while you're in the car driving to that party. It's all those little things are going to add up and help you to get through this crazy, crazy time when your energy is not crazy, crazy. Some food ideas for bringing to parties or offering at your parties. So, lentil and veggie soup. So, a hearty, warming soup loaded with iron rich lentils, carrots, celery, and spinach. Yum. Add some warming spices like turmeric or ginger to help with that digestion and reduce the inflammation, because reducing inflammation is also going to help reduce any PMS symptoms. You could also make some mushroom and wild rice risotto. This comforting dish combines the grounding benefits of mushrooms with whole grains to replenish your energy stores and just, sprinkle a touch of herbs on top for some beautiful festive color. But oh, yum. I'm not even hungry and all this food sounds amazing. And finally, who can say no to some spiced hot cocoa with almond milk? So, a cozy drink made with unsweetened cocoa, cinnamon, nutmeg, dash of maple syrup. Cocoa is rich in magnesium, so it can help to soothe cramps, while almond milk provides extra nutrients. And you could even swap cocoa for cacao, which is less processed and has more of magnesium and all the good benefits that come from cocoa and cacao. So in this phase, just remember that you don't need to do it all. The festive season, we get so caught up in it, but we just have to remember the festive season is about connection, not perfection and gifts and, you know, all the demands that we put on ourselves. It's about connection. The festive season is festive because we're together with our family, our friends. So just honor the slowness that your body craves and set some boundaries and give back to yourself as much as you're giving to others. And that will help you through this time. So that is the 4 phases and kind of how you can use them to your advantage to get through this festive time. So, by tuning into your cycle and aligning your choices with your body's natural rhythms, you can make this festive season a nourishing season instead of an overwhelming one. So, remember, your body is wise. You don't have to push through. You can honor your energy and show up in a way that really feels good to you. I hope these tips have helped you to embrace, what this season is actually about, the joy, the connection, the coziness of this season. the the fulfillment of this season, but without sacrificing your health or your hormones. And if you feel like you need more balance, nourishment, and energy throughout all phases of your cycle, not just in this festive season, but in any season of life, then you need to join my new program, Flow and Flourish. I'm so excited to start this all with you in the new year. Flow and Flourish is my 4-month program helping you to find your unique cycle flow so that you can align your lifestyle with your cycle to create a beautiful, vibrant, healthy life where you feel nourished and it just ripples out into every area of your life. So we start January 6th, right after the new year, ready for your new year health goals, your new year lifestyle goals. So this is the health program. This is the program that you need that will help change your health and your lifestyle in a way that is truly aligned to you and your unique flow. And just, let's make next year the year that you do feel in flow and that you have energy for yourself and everyone and all areas of life. And I'm just so excited to start it all with you. I cannot wait. I will post the link to the program in the show notes below. But if you loved this episode, I would be so grateful if you shared it with a friend, share it on social media. Let's spread this word about living in alignment with your cycle and, helping more women thrive no matter the season. I know festive season can be so much extra pressure. So share this with a friend, share this with a girlfriend who is struggling to juggle the families, the kids, the presents, the food, the planning. Like, share this with them, give them some beautiful food ideas for their parties, and let's all support each other to have an amazing festive time. So that's all for today. I'm wishing you a beautiful, 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 balanced, and joyful holiday season. Until next time, take care and stay in flow.